and today I want to update on my health accessing issues. I was taking my time because when I get accessed, I was taking photos of it and trying to collect the photos to show, because the thing is, you get accessed, you get bruised, you get hand fingerprints and more, you get tasers, you get stun guns. The thing is, if you show the bruise, which I've done for years now, people can dismiss it, can minimise it, can be like, oh well, you must have bumped into something, or there's an explanation. And we're trained to think this way in life. I mean, denial is their best weapon to use against us. And because when we're dealing with, well, when we're dealing with mkultra, then we're dealing with alters. And the best way I can explain it is because if I try to explain it really thorough, then you're going to switch off unless you understand a lot more. So if we liken it a bit like hypnosis, although it's a little bit worse than hypnosis, what it is one will be programmed with a cue, with a sound, a word sequence, colours, clothing. So there'll be a visual cue or an auditory cue that will be triggering to tell you, and you will switch off of who you are as your host self and become the other person. So if they do it on telly, don't they, with the hypnosis, and when they don't even know what they did. So if we use that sort of understanding, then that helps people to understand what's going on, because when I go out, then I'll come back with marks on me, but I don't have any awareness of when that is happening. So now it doesn't really matter where I go to a certain extent, although it does, because there has to be people there, but I'm not quite sure whether I get sometimes followed maybe, or other times there's people in most towns that will have the cues, and there'll be certain cues that can be used, but they can only do what they're instructed to do. They can't do as they like. And so they don't have to access you, but often people, when they get accessed, they'll use tasering and that, one to sort of torture, and two to sort of wipe memories and so forth. And I don't actually know what they do when they access me in a day, because I'm not aware of it, and I have no evidence other than the marks that are left behind. Now the marks that are left behind are fingerprints, and usually on my arms where it's some sort of hold, or it will be taser marks and or stun guns. Now the thing is, I might say taser and it might be a stun gun. I don't know, because I've never really used those things in my life, so I don't know what they are. I just know that if it's done with like a stun gun or a taser, it's like there's a mark. It does get darker through time, but it doesn't hurt like a bruise. So if it's a hold, you will touch it and it will be tender, and it does still get darker. And sometimes, like mostly I get them on my arms and legs, so mostly I might get tasered there or stun gunned there, or on my legs. And then sometimes bruise marks like fingerprints on my ankles. I also do, not so often, get a taser, but it's a large triangular shape, and I would say the size of a police taser. I will, because I looked at the measurements and they are the same. And them I get them under my breast, or like one the other day, it was here, but it took a long while, because it's as if they stick it right in, and so it takes a long while, a few days, for the bruise to come out. So it's very hard to know when did that occur, because until the bruise starts occurring, you wouldn't know, because there's not a bruising as in with it, if it was physical. Sometimes my legs get damaged. I went to the beach a few months ago and was playing the drums there with other people drumming, and I come back and all my knee was bruised. I put that on Instagram, a photo of it, and it was bruised badly. But again, I couldn't feel it, because what happens is You have other alters, you have other persons in you when they create you. It's not, you're not born that way, but they split the mind that you have other selves that could go through this trauma and doesn't even have to show the marks. So sometimes the marks will only come out when that alter comes out. Sometimes alters can have like torn ligaments, but you don't. And so, and I do note that sometimes I'm able to walk more fluidly, and other times I've got all sort of walking complications. Currently, my left knee won't bend, so I can't ride my tricycle because it's got no bend in it and no strength in it. But if I didn't try to ride my tricycle, then when I walk, and I've got a new walking, like the chair thing, because then I can actually go faster, because my balance is terrible. So if I walk, I don't feel that problem with that muscle, but if I try to ride my bike, then I can't. Now, I haven't done anything personally to damage that ligament or anything, so there shouldn't be any reason why I can't be riding my bike, but I haven't ridden it for a couple of weeks because I can't move the pedal. So the tasering does matter, obviously, and the thing is that what I want to put, so I was taking photos of all the different marks to show you that it's the same sort of areas, same sort of marks, that you've got little dot taser marks, you've got triangles, medium triangles, which you see often I show, and then the big ones. But it was so hard putting it together, and then I came to a decision, no, I'm not going to put it all together, because what I saw was I've already given that a time and time again. And this is back to the denial, because how many times do I have to show it? How many times do I have to put it? Because when I put it forward, unless I put it forward in a perfect fashion, which was what I was planning to do, then people dismiss it. But the thing is, I've given enough evidence, and it's getting dismissed. Police dismiss it, and other people dismiss it. It's like, and this doesn't help anyone who's under this. Now, some people, the marks won't show up. They might be black, and then they won't even know. They don't have to mark you. I think they mark me because I went out. I go out. I think they're trying to say where I can go, because like when I went drumming on the beach, that's when I got the really bad knee. And then the tasering in the breast, I know if I go to certain shops that it's more likely to be that I've been to them shops, but obviously I don't know when it occurs. I get home and then I see the mark, or I might see the mark a few days later, so I have to retrack of where did I go. Now the thing is, all this tasering doesn't do me any good. I'm not young. I'm trying to restore my body, and it seems that some folks don't want my body restored. Now the interesting thing is that I have a neurologist and I have eye specialists, and I have for years. And the other day I did ask the neurologist, because I've got many problems, but she only is interested in these twitches that I have in the last few years. So I said to her the other day, well, what do I see you for? Because she's saying she can't diagnose anything. When I tried to get diagnosed, which would have helped me get social housing, but that's how I ended up homeless, was because I couldn't have social housing, because I didn't have a diagnosis to show that I had disabilities. So she said yes, I initially came to her because of a balance problem, and I still have the balance problem, but I mean, I have all walking problems. And the thing is, I see, and we started these videos because I showed my swollen knees. That's what I thought I went there for. And she couldn't see the swelling, so that's when I started video them last year to show you, well, they look swollen to me. And so if you look back on my YouTube, you can see them how they were a year or so ago. But then last year they came saying I needed statin, some drug, because my sugar was too high. And so I said, well, I won't have sugar. And then I stopped having sugar, and I reduced my sugar levels, and I've lost a couple of stone, and I've only had phone consultation with a neurologist since then. And the other day she was like wanting blood test, and she wrote, because they never do the blood test, like I was forced to change my doctors in December, I changed, and they write on the prescription that I go and request every month for my thyroxine, and they write, oh, to be reviewed in December. Well, I meant to, you know, you're meant to review the thyroxine, but it's corona going on. So she wrote the other day saying, could they test my blood after she'd spoken to me? And she'd wrote, had diabetes. So when I went to the new doctors, I got an appointment with a new nurse, and she says, oh, this is the only paper file we have, which was the letter from the neurologist. So I said, where's my paper files? And this was about June. And she said, no, they haven't arrived yet. But no one's concerned. No one's concerned. Now, where are they? I moved from the other GPs to this GP 6 months prior. But no one's worried that there's no paper files. So then they can write what they want, you see. And it seems that they might. So that's why I feel to make this video is to make a record for my account, because there's no paper files anymore. The neurologist is only interested in the jerking and tells me to rest. And resting has reduced it, but it hasn't stopped it. And so then in addition to that, I see the eye specialist every 6-9 months. And for a long while they said, oh, it was thyroid eye disease I had because it was double vision. But then now and then they're bringing an eye specialist who says, no, it's not thyroid eye disease. It's a neurological weakness in the muscle. But they don't communicate like neurology and eyes. No. So they're kept separate. But then recently I had my eyes tested, Specsavers, and for my new glasses, and normally every year my eyes have got worse and I have to have new thicker lenses. But this year they said, no, there's no change, and with the glasses I've got 20/20 vision. So I went to see the eye specialist appointment, and they did the test recently, and I did the test with all the dots around for the visual field, and apparently my visual field's less now. And so when I did see the eye specialist, I said to him, oh, I've got 20/20 vision now. And he said, well, yes, but there's bad news. The eye pressure, the pressure in your eye is not good, and depending on the light will may cause pain. But if it causes pain, just change the lighting, and if it causes too much problem, we can make a little hole with lasers and release the pressure. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'll look at that. And then about a week later, I saw a CC letter come to me saying that I had glaucoma, and it had been explained thoroughly to me. So I've looked up glaucoma, and apparently, you know, you slowly go blind. And I am wondering whether they use any sort of flashlight, because it's like, yes, like all my body jolting and all that. I'm sure tasering doesn't help, and maybe the causal factor was contributing to it. And as for the eye issues, I wonder if a light does get shined in my eyes, because it does. I mean, and the thing is, on one side it looks like, oh, they really care about my eyes, they really care about my neurology, but on another side it's like, well, you didn't tell me I had glaucoma, you're not so whatever. So I thought that I would update you on that. And yeah, my files have still not arrived. After the blood test recently, I think I did in about June or July, the sugar came back normal, but the doctor, locum doctor, phoned and said, oh, you need that statin again, the drug. What for? Oh, the cholesterol's a bit high. So I said, well, I'll stop having fat then. I didn't want to reduce the fat, but at the same time I don't want their drugs. So now I've also, in addition to reducing the sugar, I've reduced the fat as much as I could. And so I'm losing more weight, which is fine because I'm still overweight. The swelling's going down. I'll show you my legs. I videoed them earlier, so I'll show you them at the end. But the leg problem, yes, is still coming, like at the moment, yeah, currently. Other times I can ride, but not at the moment. I don't know if I've missed anything, but I just wanted to update. And well, it's a maths issue, isn't it? Because, you know, I can do everything I want to heal myself. I mean, when I'm healing my legs, it's not just I'm reducing the sugar. I'm doing a hell of a lot more. I'm using Tiger Balm, head and shoulder rub. Have I got one there? Every day. This I use on my legs. because it's about repairing the neurons, because and they are repairing, because like in the bottom of my left foot it was numb, like where the sciatic nerve travels really. But I put this cream on my legs every day, and I think, well, that will stimulate the nerves, because if you stimulate the nerves then they will regrow, is my belief. And if they're not stimulated, they won't. So it's like a lot of people will say, oh, we'll do exercise to stimulate the growth, which I do try to exercise, but obviously I can't ride my bike if my legs don't work properly. So I use different things to help my health, and I've now got, in addition, that I've got to try and cure this glaucoma. From looking into it, it looks like somewhere it's called it a disease. Whether it is a disease or not, I'm not sure. Because if it's a disease, then I will cure it the way I cured the thyroid eye disease. But at the moment, I'm just sort of trying to strengthen my body internally. So I'm taking the brown seaweed every day. Metaform, I think it's called. Modiflam, and I have to import it from America because we haven't got any in England. And so I do various things to try and repair my eyes. So in 6 months I'll see him again. I started wearing my glasses more, because I tend to wear them on my head rather than on my eyes. I know, that's strange. So yeah, even though I'm doing all the things, I'm not really getting really much stronger, but I am losing weight, and that's got to be good for my health. Now, obviously the taser into my breast, and it's always in my left, which is like to my heart, and it is like they go so deep. That bothers me. I mean, tasering bothers me, but when you see it under your breast, it's not good. So I don't know, what else can I do? So apparently I had diabetes, according to the neurologist, although I've never been diagnosed with diabetes. And I mean, she wrote that on the blood test letter, to ask them to do the blood test. So surely, if they saw the blood test letter saying I had diabetes, they should even more want to test my blood, but it seems not. So there you go. That's my update for now, and I'll speak again soon. Bye. Today is the 2nd of September 2021. I just wanted to show you, I'm having to stand on a chair. I wanted to show you an update of my legs. As you see, there's much improvement, although they've been suffering a lot of tasering and bruising, and at the moment I can't ride my tricycle because this leg doesn't bend properly, for no reason I'm aware of. But there you go. I mean, yeah, I've got bruised there, so you can see it, so that will contribute. And I think there's one on the other side, but yeah, basically they're going there. Yeah, they're going for my legs, tasering my legs mainly nowadays, and that's improving. I mean, it can improve, but then they taser it again, or whatever. But I'll get into that in the video. Alright then, bye.